This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it, worked it, logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. We are actually live tonight. It's Ham Talk Live, episode number 318, Youth and Collegiate Activities at Hamvention. Recorded on May 11th, 2023. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by the famous Milluzzi brothers. And the last episode, Fabio Scatino, I4UFH, was here to talk about the World Radio Sport Team Championships 2023 coming up this summer in Italy. If you missed that show, you can listen anytime at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. And we're going to be talking to Hamvention again tonight. So let me remind you that the National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting will have their usual extended hours during Hamvention once again. On Thursday and Friday next week, the hours will be 1 to 9 p.m. On Saturday, they will be open from 12 noon until 9. And then on Sunday, from 12 noon until 5. So if you need a list to remind you of that, go to wc8voa.org/Hamvention. Again, that's Whiskey Charlie 8 voiceofamerica.org/Hamvention. And you can check that out. They'll have the Drake exhibit, the WLWO transmitter that's been restored, and all the other exhibits, as well as the Ham Shack, which has been newly restored. And you can make a few cues while you're there. And admission is $10 at the door. And don't forget, Ham Talk Live will be live on Hamvention Eve, as always, live from Dayton with weather, traffic, and the latest news. So we'll hope to speak with Michael Coulter, W8CI, the official spokesperson of Hamvention, and also the new Greene County Sheriff to talk a little bit about traffic. So make sure you tune into that. We're putting that at 9 o'clock. Don't know that that's going to be exactly on the dot at 9 o'clock on Thursday evening of Hamvention Eve, but look around 9 o'clock for that to take place. All right, well, tonight, Tony and Andy Milluzzi from the Collegiate Amateur Radio Program are here, and we're going to talk about Hamvention right after this word from Tower Electronics, right here on Ham Talk Live.
Thanks for choosing Tower Electronics. How may we help you today? We have PL259s, we have in connectors, we have SMA adapters, we have BNC adapters. What can I show you today?
Where's the tower?
Well, we don't actually have a tower with us, but we have all kinds of things you can use with a tower. We have power poles, antennas, soldering irons, and meters.
Where's the tower?
Ma'am, that's the name of our company. We can't haul towers to all the Hamfests across the country that we visit, but we have almost every connector and adapter you would need to connect your antenna that's on your tower.
I don't think there's a tower back there. I really don't.
Tower Electronics. Visit us at a Hamfest near you or call 920-435-2973 or see our whole catalog at pl-259.com. Sorry, one thing we don't have is a tower.
And the Tower Electronics Hamfest schedule. Of course, they'll be at the Dayton Hamvention May 19th through the 21st. Then they'll be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, June 3rd, Newberry, Michigan, June 10th, Monroe, Michigan, June 18th, but you can visit them anytime at pl-259.com.
All the information you need for your trip to Dayton. It's Hamvention Preview here on Ham Talk Live.
And welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Tonight, Tony Milluzzi, KD8RTT, and Andy Milluzzi, KK4LWR, join us on the Orlando Amateur Radio Club and Hamcation Zoom line. Andy is the past president of the Gator Amateur Radio Club at the University of Florida in Gainesville, and he is currently a senior ride control systems engineer for Walt Disney Imagineering. And he's a key leader in the Collegiate Amateur Radio program at ARRL, a group that's been formed to share ideas and promote amateur radio clubs in colleges and universities. And Andy got into ham radio thanks to his brother Tony, KD8RTT. He is an electrical engineer with Garmin, and he's attended grad school at Ohio University, where he was the amateur radio club president. And during undergrad, he was the president at Rose Tech in Terre Haute, Indiana, W9NAA. He is a pilot and also a key leader of CARP, and you can find him on the satellites or operating CW or portable on HF, and probably regrets ever introducing Andy to ham radio because he never gets a word in edgewise. Is that right, Tony?
Yeah, but
hold on there, Tony. You don't want to.
Yeah, it's been a great hobby for Andy. You know.
Yeah. Oh, we always have to get that joke in there, and Andy and I have to fight about the Gators and the Wildcats on the basketball scene and the football scene, but I don't know about baseball. I guess baseball's probably
Gator baseball is very good.
Oh,
Gators have a great baseball team.
Well, we can't be good in everything, at UK. So, well, we're going to talk about Hamvention tonight, and later on we're going to talk about just some of our favorite stuff. But first, we want to do the proper thing here and talk about some of the youth activities and the collegiate activities that will be taking place at Hamvention. So I have my list here, which is going to be on a big poster in the at the Youth on the Air booth. But on Friday, we've got the Instructors Forum. So if you are interested in, teaching young people about ham radio, Carol Perry has a forum just for you. It's on Friday at 10:25 to 11:25. And the guest speaker this year is me. So I'm not sure if you want to go or not, but but I'll be talking about how Yoda can help you do your job, basically. So that's what I'll be talking about at the Instructors Forum. And then at 12 noon, we have a youth social hour at the Yoda booth. So we have free food, free drinks. In fact, I made my Costco run this afternoon. So I'm stocked up on water and Gatorade and pop and chips and all that fun stuff. So just finished that up this afternoon. So come to the Yoda booth and we'll have just a social hour. There's no program. No speakers. It's just a get together. Just all the young people, and typically we say under 26, but we can slide that a little bit. But come and socialize. But then on Saturday we've got a whole bunch of things, and it starts off with the youth forum. We'll come back to that because I want to talk about some of this collegiate stuff here with Andy and Tony. And then we'll have another youth social hour and everything. But you guys have a forum on Saturday afternoon. So tell us about the forum.
Yep. So we have a Collegiate Amateur Radio Forum at 2:40 on Saturday afternoon in room 3. And, we've been doing these every year for the past, 2016, 2017, something like that.
2017, we started at Orlando Hamcation.
Yep. And we kind of model this as a forum that's open discussion, not so much us talking to you, but encouraging the audience to be full of college students and previous college students and college students to talk about ham radio, get involved, figure things out, what we can do to serve the community better. So that will be happening again this year, and we'll actually also be streaming it online. Part of our monthly calls, our monthly call this month of May was moved to be that forum. So you can register on the ARRL.org/we want the letter U website. There's a link there to register for our Zoom call. If you register for that, you can listen into the forum live.
Okay, and that's in Forum Room 3 is what I have here. Is that right? Forum
Yes.
Room 3?
Yep.
240?
Yep.
Okay. So, if you are interested in what's going on at the collegiate level, or you are one of those collegiate persons or a sponsor, this would be a great time to go and interact with others. So who is your audience? Who all do you want to show up at this thing?
We would love to have every college ham in the world be at the forum. That's the goal. But we will settle for any that just happen to be in Dayton that weekend. That is our audience. We are looking for students, faculty, staff, advisors, those who are directly involved with college or university amateur radio programs. That could be a faculty member that's using amateur radio in their classroom. That could be students that are actually running a club at their school, or alumni and staff that are active participants and keeping the club going, maybe even between, activities, just to sort of keep it around. So that is our audience. That's who we're looking for. We really would love to see students out there. We want to hear the most from students. We want this, one of the major things of CARP has been about the students, for the students, sort of thing. It's a unique ARRL program in that it's open to any student. You do not need to be an ARRL member to participate in CARP. You can get all the benefits from the Facebook group, from the Discord, from what the league has put up there for anyone that is a college student that is doing amateur radio. So you don't have to be a league member. So if you're unsure if you can show up because of that, nope, definitely come, share your ideas, share your challenges, and hopefully we can, have some good learnings again this year in the room.
It's always amazing how much red tape there is at the college level to get antennas up on the roof, or install this or get that, and so that's a challenge. But you guys have the stories of how you finally got it to go through, and can help each other do that, and I know that was part of the goal of the Facebook group, which was just to kind of get everybody together. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, we have a perfect example of that recently. There was a club that had to take down their tower for some maintenance on the building, and basically there was some concern when they tried to put it back up from the school administration about the aesthetics of it, and it's something I know a lot of people can commiserate with. But they reached out to the group and said, hey, other schools that have ham clubs, can you send us pictures of the antennas on your building and give us some background? We want to pull this together, present it to the administration, show that there's other schools doing this. This is an important part of the hobby, but for the school also. And they collected all that, and they were successful in showing the administration and getting them to approve that they could put the tower back up. So that's the kind of stuff we really want to be able to facilitate with our Facebook group and Discord, of having this central place people can go communicate and build the hobby through colleges all across the world, really.
Yeah, it's we've kind of been through some of that with Yoda. We're at a university campus for the first time this year, and they had all these wonderful plans, and then this safety code and that safety code came up, and this and that, and so they were surprised at how difficult the job was, and I know I'm still trying to get just an antenna up where I teach, so hopefully we can work on that again this year. But after the forum, in that same room, ARRL has the Youth Outreach Forum, and Steve Goodgame, K5ATA, will be doing that. And so that'll be kind of the same thing. It'll talk about how to, reach young people and work with young people. And then after that, we have another collegiate event. So, Tony, tell us about Dewey's.
Yep. So for many years, there's been a collegiate amateur radio dinner at Dayton. I think it's typically been on Friday nights. It's just been an open invitation to people to come, hang out, eat some food. So we're continuing that again this year. This year it'll be a Saturday night, so the 20th on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. We'll be meeting at Dewey's Pizza near University of Dayton. All are welcome who are associated with collegiate amateur radio. It's a big social hour. Again, no agenda per se, other than just to give an opportunity for everyone to hang out and talk. So we actually have a RSVP if you'd like to come. I don't know, Neil, if we can add a link somehow, or but we can at least point you. If you make it to our Discord or Facebook group for the Collegiate Amateur Radio Program, we have a link there. We just want to have RSVP so we have enough seats saved. So definitely join us for that.
And it's worth noting that the league is graciously stepping in and helping offset some of the costs of that as well. So that is fantastic. As always, the league has been very generous for this sort of stuff. And you mentioned Steve. Steve Goodgame not only does the youth, but he's also one of the liaisons for the collegiate program as well. So a lot of great support there.
Yeah, so that'll be a whole afternoon of ARRL youth outreach between the collegiate program, the youth outreach, and then the dinner at Dewey's. So that'll be cool. Yeah, we have a QR code that's on the poster at the Yoda booth to RSVP for that, but I'll put a link in the description here after we get done, and that way people will have a link to sign up for that. So
yep. Let's see information about that at the Collegiate Amateur Radio Program booth at Hamvention. We'll have QR code also and sign. So stop by there for more info. We'll be in the ARRL area. You'll see Andy or me or some other students.
Yeah, we have a great group of volunteers that'll be manning the booth. I think almost all of them are active students, that are coming down to Hamvention and hanging out for a couple hours with us in the booth. So hopefully trying to build those connections again as well. So if you are a student out there, I know Neil has a large portion of the collegiate community that listens to Ham Talk Live. So be sure to stop by, the booth, and, you might see us, but you also might see some other students, and you can have some of those very practical conversations that, oh yeah, I have this struggle at my club too. Here's how I got around it. Or, yeah, this is something that we would love to collaborate on. And, build a lot of those connections. I mean, that's what Dayton's all about, is building connections and seeing friends. So trying to facilitate as much of that as we can.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, is seeing everybody and gathering together and sharing ideas and some deals occasionally. So that's what we're after. So that's some of the stuff on Saturday. Of course, Saturday morning, right at the beginning, 9:15 is the youth forum that Carol Perry puts on in Forum Room 2. And we have some former Yoda campers that will be speaking at the forum. I know Katie and Lyle are there. I forgot to look at the list and see who else is there, but I know for sure they will be there speaking. And again, we'll do the youth social hour at noon again. So we're going to keep these college kids well fed. We have snacks both days, and then pizza at Saturday evening. So we'll keep everybody well fed. So those are some of the things for the young people. And then let me talk a little bit about what's going on at the Yoda booth. Behind the Yoda booth, there's a small area for some miniature forums, and Eris is partnering with us on that this year. And we've always had Hamsci there. And so there'll be some mini forums there. At 10 o'clock on Friday, Dan White from Valparaiso University will be there talking about sparking interest in amateur radio and teachers and students through ARRL. So that will be going on Friday morning at 10, and that's going to be at booth 4303. So 4303 behind the Yoda booth and behind the ARRL booth there is where you'll find that. And then Dave Kasdan, 88Y from Case Western Reserve, will be speaking with HamSci at 11. And then, of course, our youth social will be at 12. And then one of Dr. Nathaniel Frizzell's students from the University of Scranton will be speaking at 1 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, ARRL's engineering chair, Randy Berger, WA0D, will be speaking. So those are on Friday. And then on Saturday at 10 o'clock, Randy will be speaking again, giving a how to work the repeaters on the ISS. So if you've wanted to do that, Randy's going to be there to talk about that and take some questions. Gary McKeaton from HamSci will be speaking at 11 about, the Festival of Eclipse Ionospheric Science. So we've got another eclipse coming up. So that's at 11. And then 12 o'clock, again, Youth Social. 1 o'clock, VLF Science by another one of the University of Scranton folks. And then at 2 o'clock on Saturday, ARRL will have a post-forum question and answer session. So that'll be right after their forum, and a meet and greet. So that will be taking place, and we'll have a big poster up with all of that on it. But if you go to youthontheair.org/Hamvention 2023, or just look on the front page of youthontheair.org, there's a link, and it'll run all those times down. So if you missed those, you can check those out. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about Hamvention with Tony Milluzzi, KD8RTT, and Andy Milluzzi, KK4LWR, right after this word from ICOM America, right here on Ham Talk Live. Aim higher and discover the world of SHF. Explore the world of microwave with ICOM's new SHF portable, the IC905. This all-mode rig covers 144 to 5600 megahertz bands, and with the optional CX10G transverter, 10 gigahertz. This portable also has a few industry firsts under its belt. The IC905 is the first radio to support the 5 major bands, VHF to SHF, a PoE RF module for flexible installation, and is compatible with amateur TV in analog FM mode. Other features include a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time high-speed spectrum scope and waterfall display, easy digital mode settings, high-performance GPS antenna, full D-Star functions, and an SD card slot. From May 19th to May 21st, hams can find ICOM at booth 2608 at Dayton Hamvention 2023 in Xenia, Ohio. We hope to see you there for the love of ham radio. For more information about ICOM's amateur offerings, visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur.
You're listening to Ham Talk Live.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll let you know of things that are coming up on the show. And again, we'll be live from Dayton on Thursday night, Hamvention Eve, around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Look for us to be on hamtalklive.com for the live feed, and then the recording will instantly post to all the podcast outlets and YouTube as soon as we are done with that. So to listen live, make sure you go to hamtalklive.com. We're back with Tony Milluzzi, KD8RTT, and Andy Milluzzi, KK4LWR. And guys, I just want to talk a little bit about Hamvention. I'm excited and almost ready to go, I should say. The pile of stuff in my dining room is getting bigger by the day. All these banners and signs and pamphlets and TV. We had TV show up today. There's all kinds of stuff down there. And so, I'm really looking forward to having the booth and having, all the young people, meet each other again and see how they're doing, since, they attended camp and, meet some new young people who might be, coming to camp at some point. So, what are you guys looking forward to this year at Hamvention?
So I haven't been to Hamvention since COVID, in person. So I am looking forward to just being back. It's one of those things where it was such a big part of my life. And then we took those 2-year break, and last year I ended up getting married. So, this is going to be my first time going back to Hamvention since 2019. So, that's a long time. So I'm just looking forward to that, seeing friends who I haven't seen in a while, all that sort of thing. Watching to see what Jocelyn points to, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's an inside joke there about Jocelyn. It seems like every time at camp we would have a picture of him, he would be pointing to something to show somebody something, and so we say that Jocelyn's continually pointing at things. So yeah, Jocelyn will be there, and he'll probably even have his little pointer stick. You haven't seen the pointer stick?
No, I haven't.
He's got the pointer stick with the little Mickey hand on the end of it.
Oh, is he going to be taking that to Yoda Camp this year?
Yeah, I would imagine so. He did last year anyway. So yeah, I think he's got the official Jocelyn pointing stick, so he can point out everything. Well, how about you, Tony?
Yeah, no, it's kind of the same thing. I was there last year, but I'm so excited to get back, see people. That's the main thing. There's a handful of people I run into every year at Dayton. That's nice to see them. People I met on the air or only knew from on the air, then met in person, ran into them by chance. And, there's also a bunch of the collegiate people and other younger hams I've been seeing for years, Sterling, Marty, et cetera. Just hanging out, seeing people again is my favorite part. And, meandering through the flea market a few times to see if I can find anything good, but
find something that you can't live without.
Yes, but I can stuff in my suitcase.
Yeah, that boat anchor might be a little expensive to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that on Ham Nation last night? The 290-pound Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might not quite fit in the luggage, Tony. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or that case of 10-meter FM radios. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But, part of Hamvention that's cool is you can find that person that drove up from Florida and ask them if they could drive back with whatever you bought and meet up with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. So, if somebody's coming to Hamvention for the first time, what's on the must-do list for them?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There is a lot to do at Hamvention. I know the first year, I barely even hit the flea market because I was just consumed in the commercial section the whole time. Like, there's just enough there for 2 days. Seeing all the different vendors and all the different things, because it's never a quick interaction when you talk to someone. You go over to like ARRL or you go over to like AMSAT, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a quick little chat. And, 2 hours later, you're still talking to them because you're learning something new or you're trying something for the first time. So there's a lot of that, at Hamvention. So I think, commercial area is pretty good. If you have something though, like on your mind that you want to find in the flea market, that is the first thing you have to go hit up.
Yeah.
If you want something, be there first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's my advice. If you want something, hit the flea market first thing when you get there, and then also the last thing before you leave, because that's when you'll get the deals. Yeah.
If there's something you need and it's not Hamvention, you don't need it. But you got to be there early. You got to be there at the beginning. You got to find it. You got to get it before it's gone. And then, like you said, at the end, nobody wants to take that stuff home.
Yep.
So you got to hang out at the end, and that's when you'll get the deals on everything. But if if there was something you were counting on, it almost assuredly will be gone by the time you wait until Sunday at 1. So,
but sometimes you find some real gems in there too. Like,
oh yeah.
Tony and I have gotten pleasantly surprised by finding attenuators or adapters or stuff, and Saturday or Sunday morning is a great time to get them. So,
and of course, Sunday is free. Mm-hmm. So you can get a free ticket if you just go on Sunday, but you only get 4 hours, 9 to 1, I think.
Yep.
Something like
the other thing I highly recommend, especially if you're going to be there all weekend, is get your tickets and go to the redrawing of prizes.
Oh, yeah.
You never know what you'll win in the redraw. So, highly recommend that. I know at Hamvention in Orlando, I won a 7,300 off that. So, there can be some good prizes by going to that redraw.
I had a friend in college who won a tower at that.
Wow.
And then he had to deal with how he could get the tower when he didn't own a house. And it was.
Yeah.
But he won a tower. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I remember winning was at Dayton. And it was one of those through the glass mobile 2-meter antennas. I don't know if you ever remember those, but they had this little box that you'd stick on the windshield, and then the other side there was this little triangular shaped thing, and then the whip would stick out of it, and they were terrible. Which is probably why they're not around anymore, but yeah, I won one, and I used it. I used it. I had a car, and I had to use it because I couldn't put a different antenna on it, so that it solved the issue. So, SWR wasn't real great on that one, but hey, I won it at Dayton.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing I'd recommend people check out or seek out, I should say, is look at what's going on in the evenings after the show. I've got the contest suites, and you've got people having dinners, the collegiate dinner, but there's other dinners and get-togethers and tons of stuff going on in the evening. So, and in my experience, everyone's pretty welcoming. So make some friends throughout the day, see what they're doing, and go have fun at night. There's plenty going on.
Yeah, I know Bryant's going to be speaking at the contest dinner, I believe it is, and there's the Top Band dinner and CQ Hall of Fame inductions, and there's just so much going on at night that it's like the day you can't get to all of it at once. So I know the Spurious Emissions Band I heard are taking a year off. So I was really making plans to make sure that I got to that this time. I keep saying I'm going to go and see it live instead of on YouTube, and then I heard that they're taking the year off, so you won't be able to do that. But the contest super sweet, and there's pizza parties at 10:30 or 11 o'clock every night at those. Yep. So if you like pizza, there's plenty of opportunities for pizza.
Yeah, not to mention, you can make some really incredible friends by going to those contest suites, and even just the conversations and talking with folks there. Even if you're not a big contester, and you're just a DXer or even just starting to get into the hobby, you can learn a lot from just sitting at a table, sharing some pizza with folks who have been doing this for 10 or 15 or more years, and just get some great pointers from operating or from gear to get or setups to have. So, highly recommend those contest suites. There's a lot of great learning there.
All right. So, the next question is, what's the one thing you have to bring home?
Ooh.
I think an antenna of some sort. I feel like every year I've gone to Dayton, I've come home with an antenna. It's kind of a tradition, be it a little rubber duck or something bigger. So, find that antenna you don't need and buy it.
Yeah, I know this year I'm looking for a dummy load, so that's what I'm hoping to come home with. But every year there also seems to be usually a field day shirt has been something that I always seem to end up getting at Hamvention. It's a month away and all that. So the league is there. They have a pretty good in-stock supply of shirts and books and stuff like that. So, and with Tony and I hanging out in that section a lot with the Collegiate booth, I tend to walk home with at least a field day shirt. And more recently, it's also been with a renewal of my Diamond Club membership. So,
Yeah, it seems like, there for a long time I had to come home with a Dayton shirt every year, but I know I can order this stuff online, or back then I could go to my local ham radio store, when those were actually a thing, like everywhere and not just here and there, and get stuff or order stuff, but there was always just something special about picking it up at Dayton and taking it home.
Yeah.
The instant gratification of, I'm going to take this home and I'm going to go back to the hotel and open it up and start programming it, or I'm going to go install that antenna.
Yeah, there are definitely some cult classics though for Dayton. If it's your first time, there's the Waffle House shirt, there's the Dayton Hamvention shirt, there's the Boy Scouts patch. There are some definite Dayton specific things that I know a lot of people year over year will not, miss out on. So, that's always something to look at too, is, if you're really into some of those things, both Tony and I were in the Scouts, so we've gotten a few patches over the years and stuff like that. But, those are definitely highlights for some folks at Dayton.
And then, everybody's probably sick of hearing the cheesecake on a stick story, but back when it was at Hera Arena, the buildings were all scattered out all over the place, but there wasn't a clear path. And so there was this one intersection that the only way to describe it, that you had to turn to go into the other building, that's where the cheesecake on a stick stand is. And so it's you go down this way, you turn left at Cheesecake on a Stick, you go down the ramp, and and that's where, this booth is. And so it just became a thing. And so eventually I'm like, I've been to Dayton all these years. I've never had Cheesecake on a Stick. So I finally got it. And then they, moved, and they didn't have it the first year out in Greene County. And so I said something, and now it's 3 different places have Cheesecake on a Stick now. So,
I mean, the food vendors there, you can pretty much find anything deep fried.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely if you are into deep fried food, Dayton certainly has you covered.
Yeah. Yeah. The ice cream's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go for the grilled chicken, but that's a shorter line. I think that's why.
It's too healthy.
Yeah, it's too healthy for Hamvention. Oh, geez. Well, I look forward to seeing the two of you at Hamvention, as well as a bunch of other people. And no photo contest this year, Andy?
No, none going on right now.
Was that your last Hamvention? When you had the photo competition?
With Michelle, yeah, I think that was actually, yeah. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, I remember Andy coming up to me and it's like, "Oh, hi, I finally ran into you. Hey, I need to take your picture and take off." I'm like, okay, sure. And, you take my picture with you and you take off. And I'm like, okay. And then later found out it was some competition you guys were doing, so.
Yeah, there's some shenanigans and fun stuff that always happens at Dayton. So
I did hear a rumor, and I'm sworn to secrecy. So, but I did hear a rumor that there's going to be quite a fun activity going on. So make sure you keep your ear to the ground on some of the other podcasts, we'll say. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'll just say that. So,
and my favorite
keep an
part
ear to the ground.
the thing I am actually most looking forward to for this Hamvention, on top of everything else, is actually that this sort of kicks off a few months of seeing some friends and doing some amateur radio, because the three folks on this chat tonight are getting the band back together in July.
Yes, we are. We're getting the band back together. Oh, I doing the Yoda camp in Canada, and I never did hear. Are Daisy and Max coming to camp this year?
No. Daisy and Max are not going to venture up north of the border. That might be too cold for their Floridian blood. As you know, miniature dachshunds are best kept warm in Florida, not moderately warm in Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
So
we look forward to getting the band back together there as well, and we've got a great week lined up for the Yoda camp again this year. So thanks, guys, for these two are working on the building aspect of camp, so they get to start right away after we take all the camp photos Monday morning. We're going to be building some antennas and some code oscillators and a straight key, I believe, this year. So,
and then we're going to use them for the next 5 days.
And then use them. Yeah, we're going to use them. We're going to do a POTA activation. It's a twofer for those of you who are into POTA. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. But looking forward to it. Well, guys, I'm going to call it quits here for tonight, but the next episode will be live from Dayton, and hopefully we'll have some more to talk about. So,
sounds good.
Sounds great. Thanks, Neil, and drop by the Collegiate Amateur Radio booth if you're in Dayton. Say hello.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing everyone, and yeah. Also, go Gators.
And go Wildcats, yes. All right, well, that's a wrap for this edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guests, Tony Milluzzi, KD8RTT, and Andy Milluzzi, KK4LWR, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening, and invite you back Thursday night, right around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Hamvention. For a list of all of our upcoming guests, go to hamtalklive.com. For now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.
For 73s, to you and your family, I'll be seeing you further down below. Your 73s, to you and your family, I'll be seeing you further down below.